Hello everyone, we are back with another Rocket League video at Game Gym. I'm Coach Aero, and in today's video we're going to be learning the Musty flick. If you guys consume Rocket League content at all, chances are you've heard of Musty, and if you haven't, he's a huge content creator. He's been signed to NRG as a content creator, and he's really famous for his Reddit clips in the earlier period of Rocket League's life, which is actually where today's flick rose to fame. For this lesson's warm-up, we will prepare ourselves mechanically. Later in this video, you will be required to make a joystick direction change that is very quick. You can call it joystick flick, whatever you want to call it. And this can often trip students up because if you're not familiar with the motion, you can end up messing up one of the steps to the Musty flick. For here, we will be in free play and practicing the flip cancel, which is when you go do a normal front flip, but directly after you expel your second jump, you quickly yank the left joystick directly in the opposite direction, which will cancel the front flip in its tracks and cause your car to stall. Freestylers use this little trick a lot. Also, if you guys didn't know that, but this will really help train our joystick motion we'll need later in this video, so practice this in free play for about 5 to 10 minutes. And as always, you can use the footage on screen with my controller overlay to help you out. The Musty flick is going to be a great continuation of last week's video because it involves the same skills of dribbling / controlling the ball and flicking. Last video, we also talked about staying unpredictable through delayed flicks, and incorporating different types of flicks into your offensive arsenal is one of the best ways to achieve this. In that video, we talked a bit about 45-degree flicks and standard flicks, so realistically, everyone watching should be proficient with those before going and trying to learn something like this, because even though this flick is very good, it is not as practical and frequently used as the standard flick and the 45-degree flick. Basically, the Musty flick is when the ball is more towards the front of your car on top, and you jump, tilt back, and scoop the ball forward, which can generate some crazy power from an almost standstill position sometimes. Now we're going to be in free play, and we'll actually be learning the Musty flick. So guys, as for all flicks, the starting setup is the same as every other one. First, you need to control the ball on top of your car. That's always the first step. You also want to make sure to have the ball closer to the front of your car, kind of on your windshield for this one. When you jump, you want to immediately tilt your car back by pulling down on your left joystick. The key here is to try not to make any contact with the ball during this tilt back, as it will make it so we can't flick like we want. Once we are tilted back, you want to use your second jump while pushing up on the left joystick to enter a motion where you scoop forward, and if this is done correctly, your hood will scoop under the ball and propel it forward. The timing and ball placement during the control portion can be extremely tricky, so this will surely take a lot of practice before you guys become good at it. Practice this for around 5 to 10 minutes in free play, or for more time if needed. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at a replay analysis example of a Musty flick, and we're going to talk about how it helps us stay unpredictable. So I'm going to first start out by letting you guys go ahead and watch this play. You can see that I attempt the Musty, and honestly guys, this is like almost one of the best shots I've ever hit. That recovery, that was like, that reminded me of Jorius from RLCS. If you guys don't know who that is, you should look up some clips. But yeah, what we can see here is we're gonna go over the mechanical side first, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about why it works. So we can see right here, the first step is the catch, we know that. And you can notice that I'm keeping it closer towards my windshield like we talked about, because when we go to tilt our car back, it's not gonna bump it out of our trajectory, right? So you can see I keep it pretty much on the windshield, and this flick just creates so much power and speed so quickly. This guy, nobody can respond to it, really. This guy can't, most defenders are not gonna be able to. It's just so quick, he can't. And we're gonna talk about why this works right here. First obvious thing is we have a lot of space, so we can start a catch and we can start dribbling. And from there we have many options. We could do a regular flick, a Musty flick. We could do an air dribble. We could do anything once we have control of the ball on top of our car. So we can see that we have ample space. And honestly, if you're looking for a more specific scenario where you should use the Musty flick over a regular flick, there really isn't one, because the goal of any flick is really the same. But what I would recommend is just trying to change up the flick you use when you're playing against someone to try and stay unpredictable, because then they're not going to be able to kind of predict it and start countering it. So that's a good example of using a Musty flick in game and where it is the best to be used. Now we're going to work on trying to apply this mechanic in ranked. Since this mechanic does take some space like we discussed in our replay section, the game modes you'll want to play are 1s and 2s, and it's going to be for about 30 to 45 minutes, so the usual. Every game, you should attempt 2 Musty flicks per game. That's going to do it for this video, everyone. Make sure to leave a comment, and if you enjoyed the content and learned something, you are always able to use code Aero when renewing your subscription. It really helps me out. I'll see you all in the next one.